Hello, my friends, and welcome back to our continued blind Let's Play Homestuck for the PC. My name is FlightlessBird, this is your story-based gaming channel, and today, on page 2715, we just hit the end of year 2. What surprises await us as we are in between years to come? I hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic day today, as I am left to wonder if we are going to have one giant page recapping everything that's happened so far. And if so, we may not get through a lot of pages today. But let's see what we can do. Let's see. So we have these things capture logged. Keep playing anyway. Yeah, I have no idea what the heck this thing is or why you would need another disc. You just capture logged it and proceed. There is justice to be done, and you're running out of time. Proceed with Terezi. Was this gonna be another? It's weird. I don't hear any sound. There is no sound. Can't do anything. Like, normally when this happens, you can move around, you can do stuff, but I'm clicking, and I can't move. I'm pressing WASD. Nothing's working. Spacebar doesn't work. Enter doesn't work. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what's wrong with this page, but this page isn't... Is this all the page is supposed to be? Read note. Huh? Hey, I went to the secret area. Okay, no, this button means that the story is done, but I see the guy transporting all over. There he is up there. Alright, let's press on. Wake up. You cannot wake up because you are not actually asleep. You are just taking a breather in this nice cozy pile of horrifically mutilated scale meats, which are gathered here to break your fall for some reason. You wonder where you are. This is a fancy looking room. It doesn't look like a place you would expect to find on this meteor. At least not in any strictly canonical capacity. Examine the surroundings. The dapper Kiwi-suited gentleman is quite familiar. You are almost positive he made an appearance in that very crowded dream you had recently. Where did he go? Something in this room smells funny and fast. Climb stairs. You cannot ascend. The staircase is suffering from a catastrophic horn clog. Yeesh. Exit door. The door is locked. You will either need a key or to break it down with force. You will need to achieve an especially heightened state of determination to pull this off, though. There's that key word, determination. You have been completely hornswoggled. This whole thing was a setup from the start. A trap deployed by a cunning mastermind. All the clues are adding up. The blood, the note, the flagrant displays, the trickerism and japery. The identity of the puppet master behind all this is now painfully obvious to you. Doof. Spider Troll! Play records. You select appropriate crime-solving music to set the right mood. With this kind of atmosphere, it's highly unlikely that any crime will stay unsolved for long. I'd like to be wronged. This is ominous. Like, this was like a final boss theme. I could see that. Rumble at the rink. Jazzy. Oh, this is good dance music right here. This music's great. I love it. Unlabeled record. Serene, but not a lot to it. I'm gonna let it play for another 10 to 20 seconds. Okay, that's pretty. Like I said, I love the piano. The piano is always beautiful. X-ROM. Sounds like a stage sounds like a song I would find in a stage of Sunset Riders. Or maybe like Turtles in Time. Like, you know, one of those action side scrollers. I'm a member of the Midnight Crew. No, this vaudevillian cornball nonsense will not do at all. The mood is just not right for figuring out crimes. You put the record back in its sleeve. Examine the cover. Who is that? Who is that? Oh, we got a video here. Hopefully I don't have to cut this.
I'm going to give you a great song now by Eddie Morton, one of my favorite ragtime era performers on record, who was actually a former Philadelphia police officer before he made it big on vaudeville, and then became a recording artist with such record companies as Victor and Columbia. So here he is with a song he did in 1909 called I'm a Member of Midnight Crew. Mr. Eddie Morton.
All right, so yeah, they're just gonna replay the song we just heard. Okay, cool. Eddie Morton, I guess the name. Before you can make heads or tails of exactly who this D-bag is, something rolls out of the sleep. It appears to be a very small record. It's so small. Why is such a small record doing in this great big sleeve? You got Homestuck disc 2. You cannot get over how tiny this record is. It's adorable. You wonder what sort of music it plays. Play tiny record. This gonna be the same? Okay. Okay. It's creating some sort of light though. Predictably, you scratch the surface of the disc. What were you expecting? It's almost like you don't know what a CD is. With the disk damage, who knows what sort of effects it'll have on the data, but it's always somewhere safe to prevent any more mishaps. Capture log the disk. It should be perfectly safe from any similar kinds of damage while it's secured in your scratch and sniff modus. Examine the chest. You have spent way too much time calibrating the ambience of your investigation, not clearly enough time investigating. It is one of the most common pitfalls to being an investigator. Aside from the little pitfalls which you actually fall into. There are 2 chests in this secret room, nothing out of the ordinary. Chests are everywhere in this lab, and people find it all too tempting to sneak their personal belongings into them for safekeeping. That is, until the goods are stolen shortly after, by those who can't resist looting every chest they encounter. Which is everybody. Maybe these ones contain clues. Open chest. You got your... Huh? You got your neophyte red glare role-playing outfit. What is this doing in here? You have not worn it since your flirting days. The only part of it you kept on hand was a stylish pair of glasses, which of course since the incident has managed to become a regular accessory. But you cannot imagine how someone could have gotten their hands on the rest of it. Surely a crafty resourceful criminal is at work. Spider troll, spider troll, spider troll, spider troll, spider troll. Alright, we got the suit on. You don the garb of the legendary Legislacerator. It brings back memories of many successful fantasy prosecutions resulting in the real executions of rival players. Oh, those were the days. Open the other chest. Aww. You got your Pyrospite plush. Pyrospite was your scale-mate sidekick during the campaigns. He was a model of loyalty, friendship, and righteous retribution. More than can be said for another partner in justice. There's no doubt about it anymore. She's clearly baiting you into confrontation. You mean... Baiting? Baiting? Hug the Pyrospite. Squeak! Aww. You embrace the old friend, releasing a mighty and majestic squeak. It had been too long, old friend. You vowed to never let my resent again. Oh god, no. 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 The puppet is becoming a hoot nuisance. It appears to exhibit the same incredible puppet fastest properties which Dave's had. Must be some sort of universal puppet enchantment. Could it possibly be the same one? Because that would just be insane! Hey, where did this Pyrospite go? Look up. Oh, hey, little guy. There he is. How'd he get all the way up there? Had he always been quite the slippery scalawag? Maybe it was remind you to check out the note. You almost forgot it was up there with all the furious investigating. Most of which has involved fooling around with records, hugging plush toys, and cosplaying as a childhood heroine. You know what this reminds me of? I only played about 20 minutes of it because it freaked me out too much as a kid, so I stopped playing it. But this reminds me of The Seventh Guest. Because in Seventh Guest, you have like this spectral hand that's used to like click on things and stuff. And that's what that reminds me of. And if it doesn't have a spectral hand, well, that's what I remember from the game because it freaked me out. Read it. Just as you thought. It is a message from Vriska, summoning you to do battle. It is written in Gamzee's rich, jelly smelly blood. But it is her handwriting, be sure. Her quirk is present, leaving the matter undeniable? Undebatable? But why the heck does she want you to bring this super puppet along? She's so weird. There is a journal entry on the back. Probably isn't the slightest bit relevant to the current situation, but you guess it couldn't hurt to read it anyway. Examine the journal entry. I'm just gonna read this as normal. I suppose I'll have to get used to writing with this hand instead. I now do so in captivity, while I bring my awe to bear on the immensity of this subjugulator's hijinks. I took the gesture so plain avowal of my prosecution's futility. What a lone neophyte assigned me to the task. How could I view it otherwise? I was sure they'd drawn from the bottom of their deck, not intending to squander more competent mercenaries on the one who made a show of outclassing them all before. But I discovered too late that Red Glare was the wild card all along. How is one allowed to be raised by a dragon in this era, let alone one of such middling blood? The sickly hue of a gutless civil servant, those of a caste are typically pleased to mount a sluggish collar bear, or some brainless squawking spleen fowl during petty expeditions. The plaster seizure notices on gambling property. By what fluke was this woman granted such a weapon, permitting her to luxuriate in these delusions of righteousness? Suddenly blocked the light of the unbitten moon, treating the harbor to darkness more grim than what fell the season's apogee. I made the mistake of looking into its eyes, each like a sun concentrated into this small jewel, as two hot garnets searing through a black veil. I shut mine quickly, but the more sensitive of them was burned irreparably. When I regained sight in the other, there was only red. My fleet was in flames. The neophyte was on deck. Pyrospite. She mentioned through a ridiculous forced grin. She wanted me to know the name of the beast which was able to consume my Lucis whole. My dice were in the hold below. Not that my present luck would consent to a favorable roll anyway. I made a move for my blade. She took my arm, which I'm sure she kept as the tiniest of snacks for a stenchiest custodian. Maybe she meant to prove she wouldn't need me in irons to have my submission. Bound or free. 2, 1, or none. I wonder how well she knows it's not what I do with my arms she has to fear. I await my trial. Insert this too. Oh, that's so cool. The way it's spinning like that, it's super neat. I mean, it says here ascend, but I can't tell if this is a part of the box or if it's still loading. Let's just wait and see. Sis, roof now. Bring the puppet. Capture logged all of them. Acrobatic something. This music is awesome. Aww. Whoa! Nice transition. friends with this guy. It's hilarious. Huh? Johnny hang the blackout, so I'll be able to see you until you leave. But don't worry, I can still sense you're there because of awesome powers, remember? Oh, wait, there's a journal log. Oh, much fanfare was made of the trial, more than I would have dared to hope. Seemed like my luck has been returning of late. Don't worry, I still sense you're there because of your awesome powers, remember? Smooth, move, did your computer like that? The way, there was some incredible leadership she showed. Now I had to contact her through Rose. It has exposed me to the risk of actually having to talk to her. Carelessness has put the hero's light in a very awkward position, John. I hope you're satisfied. Just kidding. He's obviously a little too preoccupied at the moment to be sassing me. Just borrow your computer, talk to me when you get a chance, okay? I'll be waiting. Is John still alive? I mean, are we gonna answer that question, game? The Highbloods surely intended to make a spectacle of my conviction. They filled the court block with peasants ravenous for the comeuppance of a blue blood. Was about to deny them what they came for. It was kind of the authorities to supply me with the phalanx of such impressionable spectators. The weak wills were nearly as thick in the air as the rust in their veins. Funny how my other senses seemed to have peaked since exchanging glances with the dragon. What an extraordinary specimen. How I've come to covet the creature since it ruined my fleet. I know too well the whispers of a dangerous new infatuation when they beckon, but I digress. All the symbols. It was simple enough to notice the hostility of the lowbloods from one aristocrat to another. The subjugators could not have been pleased, nor could they have been altogether unamused, I would expect. I wonder if this was part of the unfathomable game. I'll never understand the riddles. They're hanging her. I only regret that I didn't get to hear the opening statement the neophyte had prepared against me. In case she compiled from all the evidence she earned and must have been danging. I get her remarks would have stung worse than when she severed my arm. She certainly would have shown me greater mercy by taking the other instead. Alas, I mocked to disguise the extent of my regret. Had my escape not necessitated her demise, she would have made it a lovely rival. She had only discarded her childish preoccupation with justice. We might have had a striking scourge. How we inched blacker, we'd have torn red miles across the land and sea. Unfortunately, the only miles to be found through her bureaucratic calling were those of red tape. When so ensnared, one is eventually found to be choked. With the court block cleared, all that remained to obstruct my freedom was his honorable tyranny himself. Upon reflection, red glare showed the foresight of a true seer in thieving my arm before the trial. The heck? It permitted a fair fight. The heck is going on here? Though I was free, I had no fleet, no matter. With the gamble against decimated, I'd embraced the turn and fortune and pledged to put my sea-grifting ways behind me. With any luck, the skies will be my future. My thoughts again returned to that dragon, but first, I was in need of a temporary refuge. I sought it with the expatriate. He owed me for the sweeps of protection I provided after his brazen defiance of the Highbloods. It was perhaps the only such courageous stand ever taken against a superior by one of his supercilious pedigree, and I now have bothered striking my neck out for another. But the admiration he won naturally would then as he persistently bemoaned his treason and banishment. And I was sad to find this habit holding strong even now. I wonder if he still believes she was worth it. This must be like that person that she was reading about. So this is her continued story from before the events of the game. Repairing my arm would go a little further in squaring his debt off me. Even if I came with both intact, I might have ripped one off and put him into the task just to halt to his bloodring. Dark Leo was always a skilled machinist, and the work proved an adequate distraction. So pacified, he listened to what I had to say about my recent travails with the law and peril sprite, and what I had come for in truth, the treasure he'd been keeping safe for me. I cradled the oracle in my synthetic hand, as if appraising by way the mystic qualities it still concealed. With my vision eightfold sealed away, I was as blind to its secrets as the old doctor was to its present whereabouts. I learned to keep it cloaked from the awareness of the man who had once called me his protege, a backhanded term of endearment from a smug manipulator. Locating his so-called dark pockets was the only gambit I had in countering his milk-tongued doublespeak. The expatriate, for indiscernible reasons, seemed unnaturally surrounded by such a void in the doctor's awareness, and so was uniquely fit to inherit the orb. The doctor could not see his treasure, nor could I into it. I considered what to do with it for a while. Should I find Pyrosprite by consulting with the Oracle, as I'd done so often to steal fortune from my adversaries? I guess exploiting some technological means by gazing through its surface may have been simple enough, but I hesitated. Every expedient granted by its counsel, though never instantly, came at a price. Knowing his nature, I'm surprised I only now recognize it as yet another instrument of his spurious benevolence, dangerous by way of selective divulgence. The sense of infallibility his oracle brought me was superficial, and in hindsight weakened my readiness. Knowing my fate so far in advance, I took Regulair's threat lightly. The greatest mistake I ever made was asking the orb when I would die. But as I revisited the prophecy surrounding this unfortunate query, something struck me. I thought of the man I would have as a matesprit centuries from now, who was set to command an army of beasts, the one it called the Summoner. Oh, look at that. Whoa, that was cool. I don't know if that was intentional. Whoa, no, that is intentional. Like the screen is, I don't want to use the word glitching. Yeah, but look at that. It's so cool. If my obsession with the dragon could continue to burn for so long, would he be the one to assist me in taming it? I did not have enough knowledge to ask the right questions when I had the opportunity. Were that the case, I might have asked if I would be his rare abilities of communion that would bring Pyrosprite under control. Would it be on account of my influence, and if so, would I exert this influence by taking his will, or winning his heart? There are details I would have given no second thought in drawing from the orb, my curiosity of force usually too much to quell, but now. I had thought of the summoner often. I have been troubled to know that as one so common-blooded he could not possibly have hatched yet, nor will he wriggle from the caverns for many sweeps. So I must have patience to take up my role in his story of heroism. It is a tale which reads to me as though lifted from a child's story, yet I know I'd be a fool to doubt its veracity entirely. He would rise through the ranks of the cavalry reapers and assume command, having proven the most skilled and fearless of them. He would exhibit a remarkable pupation, the only sort recorded in myth, growing or perhaps simply revealing a striking pair of wings. His army, thus inspired, would spearhead a major rebellion, surely one at least on the scale of the sectarian revolt crushed by the High Bloods, who thereafter forbade its mention or any invocation of the heretical symbols at all, even in private journals, which is why it will stick to the fable of the summoner, and not risk another execution with even oblique reference to the compelling tale of the sufferer. Resolution to the summoner's mutiny is foggy, as I only understand what had been relayed to me through the brief answers I thought to solicit. Ultimately, the ire of the Condess would be such in that the settling dust of the conflict she would banish all from the homeworld except the young. She would scatter all who reach maturity to the stars to fight the wars, I presume to keep them occupied, existing in a less centralized state from which such a coup may arise. This is still an incredible notion for me to consider, and I cannot imagine how she would come to enforce such an upheaval in our civilization, though I suppose she will have on her side the advantage of an unparalleled lifespan, and the leverage extended by the hideous psychic prongs of a deep, undulating monstrosity. That is, until it chooses another litter which to serve. Nevertheless, I'd take the prediction as truth, and find it amusing that a homeworld determined by children will be the great summoner's legacy. Well, one of them at least. More importantly, and less amusingly, his legacy will be my demise. You see, I first learned his name when I asked who would be the one to kill me. Read all this. I had never spoken or written of him out of contempt for the prophecy, but do so here, in the final entry of this journal. I took this to be a pitiful fate, and scoured the orb for any means of escaping it, or at least to salvage a little dignity from the tale of my downfall. Alas, I had no consolation for my vanity. But as I sit here deciding what to do with the dangleable little sphere, I understand my error. It was not in failing to chart a course through future events to turn my fortune's tide, even so many sweeps from now. It was in believing the future was mine to know, and fortune mine to control. If this hero is meant to breathe life into my embittered heart, and if he has earned the right to run it through, then so be it. For him, I will commit to this page my highest expectations, and for what precious uncertainty is left in my future, I renew my vigorous anticipation. The oracle I will resolve to part with. I will conceal it in a crypt bearing the sign of the extirpate, with a map to its location hidden in this journal. Whomever finds it, be wary, for the truth it tells may leave its new keeper blind as I was, though no more. Flip. Can not interact. So weird. Like, why did they put these here if... And there should be a song playing. So... Like, why can't I control this? Yeah, I can't control this, friends. Whoa! What the heck was that? Objection? We're not playing Phoenix Wright today. The heck happened? Dead. Hey, Regular, nice outfit. Same to you, Friska. As much as it pains me to admit, your pretty orange Ferris suit smells delicious. Thanks. I see that you finally wised up and started taking this very seriously. It was hard to antagonize you properly while you physically get in character. I'm not in character. This is serious business, Friska. I bought my daily crown coin and cool coin and everything. Yes, I can see that. So you're coming revenge then. I thought we saw this all a long time ago. No, not revenge, justice. But despicable murders of our innocent friends. Murders? Like plural? Vriska, please, do not try and deny it. I found the evidence. Tavis, Apata, even Gamze. I really wish Vriska. Really, Vriska? Gamze? Gamze is dead, you dope. He flipped out or something. Oh, what the heck is going on? Well, okay, yeah, there was like one murder I was responsible for. You know, Tavros, that was me. I guess. Huh? But that's it. He's the only one I killed. Just that one guy. Huh. Baseball. Combo times 3. The heck is going on? Both. No, you can't beat Jack. All that will happen is you will lead him here and then he will kill us all. He will follow you a sugary pixel trail with his keen, caning snout. I have already seen this consequence in my mind's eye. Fascinating. Why don't you tell me your terms already? Forget my pixie trail. At this rate, my storing will lead him to us. Lol. What I propose is simple. I flip. Heads, you say. Scratch, you go. You're kidding, right? You want luck to decide this? Maybe you forgot who you're dealing with. I am the thief of light. Really expect to lose a simple coin flip? I've got all the luck, remember? I did not forget. What will it be, Marquise? Just flip the coin, neophyte. It's like Two-Face's coin. Oh, this is wild. Seems like it was on heads and now it's on scratch. It's hurting my eyes. Should probably press continue. This disc is badly damaged. You can no longer play Homestuck. Quit. You are forced to quit. You will not be able to resume playing unless you can repair the scratch in the disc. You will need to seek the service of someone who is capable of fixing a scratch doctor, if you will. Visit doctor. You rang. That was a joke, of course. You didn't. I don't have a doorbell, remember? Haha. Hee hee. Ho ho. Please come in. Oh. This is wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, well, before we continue on, let me go back to that previous page because I think I was using WASD instead of arrow keys. I think I was supposed to use the arrow keys. I don't know why I did that. But I want to go back there to make sure that I do everything. And I'll probably put a cut in the video to show everything there. And then I'll probably just pick up here. So back on page 3717, and I am hitting the up and down. I'm hitting WSD, hitting the numpad. I can't seem to do anything to have anything happen. So I guess this just isn't meant to be. Yeah, I guess this just isn't meant to be. We can't. Well, let me try hitting like every single button. Space, enter. Ah! Jesus! Oh my god! You cannot control Trezzy. How can you possibly expect to play this game when you have lost the game disc? All you can do is watch what she decides to do next. Good god, that scared the heck out of me. I was here jamming every single button and nothing happened. Okay, so I'll probably put this scene where I left off at the end because, yeah, nothing seemed to really happen except we watch what she does, which we did anyway. So I find it interesting that we need to see a doctor who fixes scratches, and what do? We go see Doc Scratch. Yeah, I like that. I did not miss that. I feel proud of myself for realizing the connection there. Welcome to my apartment. I trust you'll find my voice is more palatable against this decor. I continue to be an excellent host. I'm expecting 2 more guests later, first one and then another. Make yourself comfortable in the meantime, but don't touch the candy on the table that is reserved for one of my guests. I like how I can actually read the statements now. Thank you. Yes, this is much more palatable, although the green is a little bit, well, it's very green. Pay attention to the top banner, the one just under the browser tabs and above the collection menu. While it is true that it will stay the same for now and only show the image of Scratch's place, it will change eventually. Many people forget to keep the banner in mind, so be grateful for the reminder. I sure am an excellent host/mod. While it's true that it will stay the same for now and will only show the image of Scratch place, it will change eventually. So we need to keep an eye on this. Let's have a look at this disc. Oh. She really did a number on it, didn't she? It's virtually unplayable like this. What a shame. There are many moments trapped on this disc which you would have no doubt found to be quite exhilarating. But yes, I can fix it. Oh. It may take time, though. I estimate, by which I mean I am certain by the way of omniscience, that when I am done, we will have reached just shy of the green circle on the card above. I am sure you have already presumed this mark represents the beginning of Act 6. The disc should be ready to run in time to witness the critical event, a confluence of thickly interwoven concurrent circumstances which have been meticulously arranged by myself, influenced to a much lesser extent by you, and by even more negligible degree our heroes. The scratch will be healed in time to watch these heroes put into motion, yes, the scratch itself. If you don't mind waiting here while I complete my repairs, I will tell you the rest of the story. I will show you as well, as I recover data from the disk, but the visuals I supply will be nothing more than abbreviated snapshots, and my telling will be abridged. Immortality notwithstanding, I'm not going to live forever, you know. Tick. It's just for once in my life, time is at a premium. Let's get on with it. Where are we? Talk. Never mind. I figured out. Gotta keep looking. I figured it out instantly because my unfathomable intellect, limitless knowledge, and mind-boggling charisma. Granted, my charisma had less to do with it than the other qualities, but it didn't hurt, did it? Here, I'll show you. Tick. There's a coin flip. The seer of mind had challenged the thief of light to a simple game of chance. If the result was the undamaged side, the thief would agree to say. If not, she would go. Talk. The result of the flip was left inconclusive, at which point you decide to pay me a visit. But the inconclusive should not be confused with the uncertain. The actual result was trivial. It was a constant across all timelines. Both the seer and the thief knew this. The thief used her abilities to steal the fortune of her opponent and force the flip to yield what she regarded as the most favorable outcome. The seer anticipated this move correctly. This is why I don't care much for gambling. While a sucker is born with each tick of the clock, a cheater is born with each talk betwixt. Also, because it is boring and I am already a very wealthy man. Tick. The seer relayed her terms to the generally understood argot of an assassin. The result, go, while at face value would suggest the thief was allowed to leave, was actually the seer's code word for the threat of death. This was obvious to everyone, including the thief. Talk. While the thief turned to fly away, making a show of claiming her prize, the seer would stab her in the back the moment her guard was dropped. This was her plan. Not a particularly clever tactic in its own right, but its ingenuity didn't dwell on the novelty of the ruse, nor even the neutralized probabilities of the game of chance. Psychology was in play. Tick. Naturally, the thief knew this was her intent all along. She knew the seer would have understood the outcome to be rigged and that she likely intended to kill her as a consequence of the fixed result. This was to be seen as implicit dare to the thief to allow the flip to fall fairly. Something which the seer knew the thief's ego wouldn't allow. And the seer knew the thief knew all this as well. Just another pair of cheaters attempting to play their cards face up. The amateurs. Talk. Each was gambling, not with any vehicle of probability, which had been eliminated from the equation, but with each other's intentions. The thief indeed took the seer's bait, stealing the luck needed to effect the flip in defiance of her dare. And in turning to leave, she then posed a dare of her own to the seer, challenging her to back up the implied threat. This was the thief's gamble. She wagered the seer would not be able to go through it. It turned out she flew away. She was right. And so ends a tale of rivalry. Well, almost. There's a bit more. But in order to understand its proper conclusion, we should first catch up with another of my other proteges, from whom I'm expecting a message shortly. The other seer, the other hero of light. Tick. Talk. Tick. Is that what the battlefield is? The checkers? Being blown to bits? Talk. Round 2! Strife! Here, we left our human of light. Yeah, we did. Look at that imagery. Oh, let's go. Uglo Perry. She flew away to take vengeance on the noir this side of the scratch. That is, the one less angry and dangerous, the one who not yet motivated by a compelling duel. You know what's cool is I went back and watched the scene again of John getting stabbed, and you could clearly see Jack stabbing him. I mean that's clear to me, but it happened so dang fast that I wasn't sure exactly how John died so quickly. And I use the word die in quotes because and this is Homestuck. No one's. I mean, yeah, sure, people can die, but with all the time loop shenanigans going on and everything like that, it's one of those things where I'm not totally 100% certain on. Hope you're okay, John. Compelling, but not particularly challenging. Oh. The seer wouldn't win this duel. My apologies if this spoils the outcome for you. I can't speak as discreetly about such matters against this convict. Tick. I warned her. I warned my neophyte protege not to stare into that ball. Talk. Okay, whatever that says. I told her about stairs. 8 to the power of y? Moving on. Okay, but did she survive? I'll remind you that the pacing of my account will be characterized by a reduction in granularity from what you have come to expect by way of an undamaged disc. You'll imagine the remainder of the duel to be sensational, and I will continue my steady distribution of facts as if they were pieces of candy poured from a bottomless white hemisphere. The duel ends, the seer dies. No. 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 The slayer departs, and the air comes back to life. Comes back to life? This outcome was hardly a point of suspense. It would be disingenuous of me to present it as such, and I will not belittle your intelligence with such a tawdry narrative ploy. It would be rude, and I am too well dressed for that kind of behavior. If there truly is some chance of permanence to the heir's corpsehood, I can hear you asking now, how could this moment later come to pass? And for that matter, what sort of story would this be with our human hero of birth made to stay a cadaver? Definitely not the one the Alpha timeline would allow. And what sort of spectator would you be? If you've forgotten the terms ruling the conditional immortality one with the previous similarly unceremoniously impaling. Yeah, but he could die as a hero, right? I just realized this is him talking as we turn the pages. He did nothing to earn martyrdom. Aww, the little guys. Such a great picture. By which we might laud his fall as heroic. By which we might praise his fall as really? Nor had he tasted notoriety. To secure death, one may parse just. And while I can't give you my assurance, oh. I'm reasonably convinced of this much. When the hero birth dies for good, it won't be as a scoundrel, but not for the lack of a devoted mentor. If I had served as his mentor directly rather than as his mentor's mentor, he may have stood a fair chance of perpetuating something underhanded. At the very least, his jokes might have been better. Instead, he got her. The other hero of light, always bugging him, bugging and fussing and meddling. What's her deal? Let's find out. I mentioned there was a bit more to her story. I believe it's time to resume it. I trust you won't mind if I step away for a moment. I have some other important guests arriving very soon. If you need me, I'll be up there, making sure everything is in order, which it already is, and keeping an eye, which I have, on the clock, which I don't need. The top banner has changed. Keep in mind and take a quick glance on it in each new page now. I continue being an excellent mob by reminding you. I was just about to look. I've been looking at the end every time. So he's there now, right? Yeah, he's there now. Tick. Now he's over here. Talk. Now he's pouring candy. So is this when the other guy came in? The guy that I mistook for Jack? Because he looks like Jack? Tick. Talk. Yeah. All this happened before the guy came in. Bonk. Bonk? Ooh, look at the horns. Oh, right. Yeah. Bonk. I remember that. Tick. Talk. It's like watching two parallel stories at the same time. Tick. Talk. Someone's messaging. Oh, that's when, yeah, tick. Got a patch now. Stealing that candy. Blown away. Talk. Unlocked albums, Homestuck Volume 7, and Mobius Trip. Dump. Okay, stealing the candy. Heck are you doing? Apologies for my preoccupation. I managed to pacify the radio of my two other guests with sugary little black dogs, so let me continue my narration, but only briefly. In a moment, I will go stand over my typewriter and teach my neophyte protege the consequences for taking advice from a strange man over the internet. While I continue to attend to my second guest, who is from an earlier point in the story. Who is you from an earlier point, remember? Smoosh. We met here in my apartment a little while ago. At that moment, I was busy hosting you from the future, who you is you right now. But I did not mention this at the time. I would have introduced your past self to your future self and vice versa, but it is well known fact that past and future selves tend to not get along. Yeah, I've seen that. A good host would never tolerate the potential for discord among guests, and as guests go, I am simply the best there is. Please don't be alarmed. Past you was just leaving. Where was I? Of course. Wait, go back. Smoosh. Oh yeah, okay. So he hung up his coat. Remember this picture? I think that was one of my thumbnails. The two heroes of light had challenged the same Jack Noir, the one trying this scratch, and in about 20 hours of his own time to a circumstantially simultaneous pair of duels. Circumstantial simultaneity is a concept more complex than its temporal analog and is valuable for examining the properties of paradox space. It is the agent responsible for the major cosmic event which pre-extinction alternians come to refer as the Great Undoing. The same concept rules the innumerable lesser events by which this critical moment shall be catalyzed, including the break, my employer's arrival, the detonation of a very powerful bomb, and my own death. It is an abstraction weaving together the fortunes of otherwise perfectly disparate chronologies, such as those bound to a pair of distinct sessions. It is not fully comprehensible to a mortal kind, and the length I will go to explain to will not extend beyond this sentence. The story will. The slave was, for the moment, unmotivated by the thief's motion for a compelling duel. This side of the scratch, he opted for a more ruthless and calculating policy of extermination. On his arrival, not about to repeat the mistakes leading to his banishment, he quickly obliterated all 12 planets, followed by Prospect and Durst, to weed out those who might outsmart him in the same manner. With this little fanfare, he seized the opportunity to follow the thief's trail quickly before it dissipated and destroy the hideout in the Vale. And now, knowing her position, where'd the guy go? He would soon return for the duel that she wanted, but not without a pair of trophies. Twist? What's he doing? Ish. Tick. It's like pouring oil out or something. Is he about to set the place on fire? Talk. Got a giant book in his hand now. Honk, 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 honk. Attic gravis. This. It's like coding language. The imminently deceased. Again, sorry for the interruption. My conversation with this girl ran a bit long. I was slightly exceeding the 1 second I scheduled for it. This is where events begin to outpace my awareness. The deeper into this dark pocket we explore, the more I'll be forced to speculate. I rarely have cause to rely on probability. But luckily for you, my guesses are better than anybody's. Talk. Or tick. So he opens up. He's still spraying that all over. Previous images. Filled with blood and honks. I always believe that a good storyteller should keep a comprehensive record of past events on hand. Scrapbook of personal significance, for instance, from which she may piece together current moments and the past ones of a similar, if not identical, nature. It's more efficient. Talk. Everywhere. It's also logical, since there is essentially nothing new in paradox space. Everything that can happen is either a visual or substantive reproduction of something which has already transpired on a timeline, offshoot, or otherwise. Tick. Now he's back here. Strife. And if I'm going to speculate on this duel, I might as well make use of earlier clippings. For the Slayer, this was round 1 against the Hero of Light. Talk. Flick. Yeah, he's about to start a giant fire, and it looks like he got the fire going. All I really need to do is flip it turnways like so, and we have round 2. Oh my gosh, everything is in fire. And he's alerted. Alternate translation, grief. The thief would probably roll her dice. Things on fire. And just as probably, due to her impressive hoard of stolen fortune, she would have a 100% chance of rolling the most favorable result. Ordinarily, this result would be almost impossibly improbable. The odds of the roll would be 1 in 60,777,216 to be specific. And to be less specific, 1 in 8 to the Y. Since before. Oh. Whoa, what is going on with your face, dude? Got that comic look on you. And you're pouring more candies as everything burns. Where Y to the 8 is hee hee. Tick. That's so cool looking. Ancestral Awakening. Talk. Whoa, there's so much going on in this picture. Tick. Oh, someone's grabbing more candy. Oh, we got the fireman showing up. Tick. Look how awesome she looks. Oh, she looks amazing. Talk. Shoosh. Autopilot. In round 2, the Slayer would be not merely compelled. Look at the little guy. Oh, it's the little green men. Remember them. In round 2, the Slayer would not be merely compelled, but challenged, if my guess is right. Challenged by one claiming godhood before reaping the prodigious spoils from striking down a formidable endgame foe. One with the guile of a cheater, the luck of a clover, the hubris of a mentor, and the drive only to be pathologically competitive. I believe he'd be challenged, yes. Tick. There's a guy again. But not outmatched. As one who shares the Slayer's specific power, my projection must have given him the ambiguous advantage, but even so, I continued to not be a gambling man. Shh. And look, he's got something over there. Oh, look at this. That to stop being a thing that was true or anything. Talk. Got a puppet. He knows how to use it. I'm reasonably sure that if I was, I wouldn't bet against her. Bonk. Awesome she looks. She looks so dang cool. Moving on. Just killed the guy. And that guy's concerned. 14. Let's pull back from this ever-narrowing dark pocket. All this uncertainty is wearing thinner than the only pair of pants in an immortal's wardrobe. I've never much enjoyed navigating the vortices of alternative possibility. The path which alone has my absolute mastery is the alpha timeline. A continuum I define as that which boasts exclusive rights both to my birth and to my death. Two circumstantially simultaneous events. Any divergence from this path to my knowing will taper into blackness like rotting roots. But if I was a seer, such offshoots would be fully within my domain. And if I was a seer of mind in particular, synaptic casualty would be my specialty. A seer of mind would have given you a more reliable account, perhaps, but then she would do many things I wouldn't. Tick. This guy's freaking out. Whoa. Flipped it. A seer would support her allies in battle not with a weapon, but her vision. She would sift through the dross of her comrades, protect inclinations, and examine the grim consequences. A seer would not charge into the fray headlong, but directed as a conductor with a baton. She would have the sight to eschew the obvious gambits and find the path of victory disguised cleverly as setback, or even imminent defeat. She would behold the fortunes of friends and foes in totality and appraise the contrivance of life itself. She would know its mines were not to be plundered, but simply explored and charted carefully. Talk. It's just way too much happening here. Can't see everything. A true seer would know where luck is a given, where it is absent, and most importantly, where it doesn't matter at all. Tick. Got sucked into it. And she would know victory doesn't matter in a reality where all else is doomed to fail. Talk. The heck? This thing just came out. Looks like he's got a giant minigun. What sort of story could this be with our knight and seer made to stay cadavers? Certainly not the one the Alpha timeline would allow. Tick. Oh yeah, it's a minigun! Oh my god, he just got riddled. And not one she'd allow either. Talk. Oh, Jesus. She just got pierced right through. Tick. Ah. Talk. Aww. Tick. Talk. Tick. Oh, what's going on up here? You think you're so cool, bro. Sloppy makeouts now on the roof. Ho ho ho. Or hey hey hey. Talk. Nice. Tick. Bandaged. Talk. This is starting to scare me up here. The woman. Honk! Honk! Disappeared. And there she is. Tick. Oh, it's just... Wait, how... Arachnids began patrolling technical therapists. Alright, well this is where I'm going to stop. Because over an hour. Much love to y'all. I mean, this is just wild what's going on today. There was just so much that we did. Much love to you guys. Hope you have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day. And until next time, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.